Jimin and Tae were sitting on the floor folding their legs, head down with a pouting face. Jin was sitting on the chair in front of them, crossing his hands over his chest. Namjoon was standing beside him, face palming himself, thinking what Jin will do next. Who was it? Jin asked with a stern voice. Both didn't say anything, still looking down. I asked you something. Do you guys know them, or it was just a fucking drunk hookup? Jinny Hyung, both said in unison with a pout. Jinny, they are not kids anymore. Jin glared at his husband, who shut his mouth immediately. Spill it out, you bitches. Who was it? He said, crossing his arms over his chest. We went to the club yesterday. Jimin started, still looking down, scared of his Hyung's deadly stares. We met Taji guys there. You slept with some random guy, fucking unbelievable. You fell for random one-night stands, he said, rubbing his temple. He was frustrated now. They might be old enough to take care of themselves, but they are still little babies for him. He was a good guy, Hyung. He was nice with me. Jimin started sniffing by now. Tae looked at his best friend, sobbing silently. He asked me to give us a chance. He asked me my consent and gave in. Jimin cried, and Tae pulled him to a bone-crushing hug. He cried silently in his chest, rubbing his face on the crook of his neck. He was a nice guy, Hyung. You can meet him too. He said he will meet with you all, as you are my only family. He said he doesn't want us to be just for one night. He treat me like a princess, Hyung. He was nice, Hyung. He was very nice. Jin couldn't hold his tears. Jimin was never treated less than Taehyung. Though they are not blood related, he loves him equally. He pulled him in his embrace, rubbing smooth hands on his back. Taehyung was already a crying mess by now. Jin pulled him into the hug too. The three brothers cried their heart out, and Namjoon could only feel the love they have for each other. After the three brothers calmed down, Namjoon gave them some juice to cool down. You need more juice, Chim? Namjoon asked him, but he shook his head in negative. Everyone freshened up and settled down the couch, but the cool environment was soon broken by hiss. Everyone looked at the direction of the sound. Jimin jolted up, rubbing his bum. Soon he saw everyone's reaction, and a tint redness appeared on his face. He looked down shyly, trying to hide his face, and he only could thank the couch to swallow him full. I see someone had a wild night. Junie, please bring him some painkillers, Jin said, and Namjoon went to their room laughing quietly, but a loud laugh interrupted them. Taehyung laughed hard at his best friend's condition. He was rolling on the couch, and it was now Jimin's turn to beat his ass. He hit his head hardly with a pout. Why the hell are you laughing at me like you didn't feel any pain? He said, flicking his forehead again. Jinny, give him the painkillers too, he said, and Taehyung's eyes widened in realization. He didn't feel any pain in his lower part. There was no pain. If he did had sex the other night, then surely he should had felt some pain in his body, right? But he didn't. Sure, he has lots of hickeys decorated in his body, and not to mention he was sleeping naked with the handsome bunny, but why didn't he felt any pain then? Oh my god, did I top? But I'm a bottom as hell. Then why I didn't feel anything? Taehyung was lost in his own world when he felt another hit on his head by Jimin. Take this. Why should I be the only one embarrassed? He said, taking the painkillers. Taehyung just stared at the medicine in his hands. When Jimin flickered his head again. Where are you lost, Dumbo? He looked at Jimin. He was still rubbing his bum carefully. Chimmy, Jimin just hummed in reply. Does it really hurts that much? Jimin and Jin looked at him, raising their eyes. What do you mean by does it really hurts, idiot? Of course it hurts. It was my first time. It hurts like hell, stupid. Now shut up and take the damn pills. Jimin spat angrily. He was not angry at Tae, just frustrated by the sting he feels now and then. Namjoon looked at Taehyung with concern. He went near him, caressing his hair. Taehyung looked up at him. What is it, bear? You wanna share something? He asked politely. I don't feel pain, he said, shuddering, glancing quickly at his brother. You topped, both Jin and Jimin exclaimed at the top of their voice. I never thought that hot bunny would bottom for you, Tae. He surely looked like a hot top. Jimin said, amusing at the statement. I can't believe my brother topped. Like hell, you have always act like a bottom, Jin said dramatically, and Taehyung just rolled his eyes listening to their dramatic asses. Shut up, bitches. What I'm saying is I don't feel any pain. Like we didn't do anything. He said the last part almost as a whisper, but everyone heard it. You were with him last night, right? Jimin asked, and Taehyung just nodded. Then if you guys didn't do anything, why almost every part of your body is filled with hickeys? Jin asked, raising his eyes. Tae just bit his lips, lowering his head. Namjoon took a deep breath and sat beside Tae. He pulled the boy gently to a hug. Jimin told us about his Prince Charming, so guess it's time for you to share yours too, he said, rubbing smoothly on his back. I don't remember, he said, lowering his head. What do you mean you don't remember? Jin said, raising his eyes. I was drunk, he said, looking up to his Hyung's reaction. Shit, not again. You have to stop drinking tea, bear, Namjoon said, caressing his hair. I what? You never remember anything you do when you are drunk, and now you topped someone when you were drunk. Poor thing doesn't even know you were a bottom, Jin said, sipping his tea. How can you do that to the poor bunny Tae? He took care of you the whole night, even when you puke on his sexy white shirt, and you ungrateful brat don't remember topping him, Jimin said, wiping his fake tears. Shut it, Chim. There is nothing to remember here because I'm damn sure I won't top anyone. That means nothing happened between us, and whatever happened yesterday, it doesn't matter. He is just a stranger whom I don't want to see again, he said, and went to his room without waiting for anyone's reply. The remaining three just stared at the disappearing figure of the latter. Taehyung went to the balcony to get some fresh air. He was staring blanking to the shore when he felt a hand on his shoulder. He looked back only to see his best friend smiling at him. Enjoying the view? Not really, he said without looking at him. You know you can't judge everyone just because of him, Jimin said, leaning on the railing. Taehyung has always been the person who dreams for his Prince Charming until that day. I don't want to be broken like her, Chim, he said calmly. He can be different, Tae. You can't say that in one night, Chim. She lived with him for 16 years, Chim. 16 years still he left her. Love is not for me. He is just a drunk hookup, that's it. Tae tried to hide his teary eyes, but Jimin knows better. I hope you can tell that to your heart and eyes as well, Tae. He rubbed his back smoothly. Taehyung blinked multiple times to avoid the tears. Just to let you know, he asked if you are okay. Taehyung wiped his face, looking at him. How did you know? His best friend is my boyfriend, he said, winking at him with a teasing smile. And Tae could just curse his fate. What are you doing here, Kook? A voice brought me back from my trance. From the past 2 hours, I have been sitting near the shores staring to the ocean. Don't know why. Lost somewhere? Suga asked, sitting beside him. More like lost someone, I said with a sad tone. The guy from the club? He asked, and Jungkook just shrugged the question. He must be good to make you like this, Suga said with a smirk. We didn't do anything, Hyung. Well, we did, but we didn't had sex. What? Really? I thought you finally lost your virginity last night. Then what you did the whole night? Just something worth remembering, I said, looking at the vast shore. Jungkook got up and left without looking back. Suga took a deep breath, looking at the disappearing figure. I guess things has to be handled by me again. He took out his phone and called someone. Hey babe, wanna hang out tonight? Suga brought Jungkook again to the same club. Well, he didn't want to, but who can win against Suga, right? So here they are with Hobie, of course, who is chatting with her girlfriend on the phone. Soap tried their level best to make Kook smile, but no matter how much they tried, Jungkook was just lost in his own world until he saw someone entering the club. Jinny, why are we in the club? A sulking Tae exclaimed to his Hyung. To have fun, what else? Jin said, raising his hands dramatically. Taehyung sighed for the nth times. He didn't want it to be here. More like he was scared to see certain bunny-faced man who can certainly blow up his mind. Jin and Jimin gave each other a knowing look. They entered the club and Taehyung was stared to where his best friend ran off to. Uni! Jimin screamed at the top of his voice and jumped on his boyfriend. Suga smiled, showing his gummy smile, and held his boyfriend firmly in his embrace. He kissed his hair, caressing his back. "How is my babe today?" he asked, putting him down, and placed a kiss on his forehead. "I'm good, Uni. I missed you so much," he said, hugging him again. "I missed you too, babe. So much," he said, kissing his temple again. Both lovers were in their own world, not caring for the people around them. Namjoon were happy looking at the new couple. Though they don't know Suga, they liked him just by how he is talking and taking care of Jimin. The love and care seen in his eyes were enough to say Suga is a good guy. The both couples were having their own conversation, not knowing they're two people who were desperate for each other. The moment they saw each other, the whole world had stopped for them. They didn't hear anything even though the club was blasting with loud music. Jungkook couldn't took his eyes off him. He just wanted to take him in his embrace, prep him with lots of kisses, cuddle him all night, but he knows the latter didn't want it. So, with a huge pain in his heart, he stayed there just staring at him with desperate eyes. On the other hand, Taehyung couldn't raise his eyes. He knows Jungkook was staring at him. He wanted to see him too, talk to him, but he was too scared to get hurt. He doesn't want to get his hopes high, not knowing the latter was already hurt by him. Uni, meet them. They are my family. Jinny Hyung and his husband Juni Hyung. Hello Hyung, I'm Min Suga. Nice to meet you, he said, bowing down, his hands still in Jimin's waist. Nice to meet you too, Namjoon said in unison. Hello everyone, I'm your hope, you're my hope. I'm J-Hope. Nice to you guys. Hobie said with a big shiny smile. Everyone greeted him. And this is my best friend Taehyung, he said, gesturing towards the boy who was busy making a hole on the floor, not hearing anything. Yumin looked at him and looked back at each other with a knowing look. Suga turned to see his best friend staring at Taehyung. He smirked and introduced him to them. And this is my best friend Jungkook, he said, pointing towards the bunny boy. Both Namjoon and Yumin looked at him, but like Taehyung, he didn't react either. Both couples could see the desperate stares he was giving to the latter. His doe eyes were showing so much love and longing towards the boy that anyone can say how much he wants him. Jungkook, if you stare that much, then Taehyung might bury himself on the hole he is digging in the floor, Jin said sassily, which brought both back from their trance, and the rest laughed loudly. Jimin dragged Taehyung to the bars and Suga gestured Jungkook to follow them. They sat on a round table. Yoonmin and Namjoon sat together, which left Taekook to sit side by side too, and Hobie sat beside Namjoon. The waiter brought them some drinks. It was awkward silence between them while the club was blasting from music, but their ears may or may not have heard any of it. Jimin rolled his eyes for the nth time and decided to break the silence. He coughed loudly to grab their attention and slide the drinks towards them. Let's drink some beer and enjoy the night, shall we? Jimin called the waiter and brought some beers. Taehyung faked smile and was about to take the drink when someone took the drink away. He looked aside only to find his bunny, who took the glass away. You should not drink when you can't handle it, Jungkook said softly and asked the waiter for something in his ear. The waiter nodded and came back with a soft drink in his hand. He gave the drink to Taehyung. Everybody was looking to them with a smile. Taehyung glanced at the drink. Everyone was looking at him. He didn't want to create any drama, so he didn't say anything and took the drink. He took a sip and smiled slightly at the taste. It was his favorite cherry Coke. Jimin and Jin smirked, looking at each other. They talked about random things and Jin asked them how they met yesterday and stuffs. The whole time Taekook were just lost in their own world. Jungkook has been staring him with longing eyes and Taehyung was trying his best not to look at those eyes. So, Jungkook, you have a girlfriend? Jin asked out of blue. Both Taekook looked at Jin with wide eyes. And no, I'm single, he said, glancing at Taehyung. Oh, still searching then? Namjoon asked, sipping his drink. Probably searching for a boyfriend, Hyung. He is more into boys than girls, Hobie said, and a slight red tint appeared on Taehyung's face. He looked down, didn't want to see him, but he could feel his gaze on him, which was not helping him at all. Oh, I see. Had any luck then? Jimin asked, looking at Tae from the corner of his eyes. I thought I had, he said, almost a whisper, but Taehyung heard it loud and clear. Jungkook looked away, trying not to be vulnerable for someone whom he knew for only one night. He gulped the whole drink at once and went to the dance floor without saying a word. Everyone looked back and forth to the boy looking down and another disappearing figure. Suga sighed for the nth time. I just hoped you had given a chance to him, Taehyung, he said, sipping his drink. Taehyung bit his lips, still looking down. He got up and took Jimin's hand to take him to dance. Jimin smiled and got up with him. Suga stopped and turned back to the table. He looked at Taehyung and sighed again. And even if you don't want to know, nothing happened yesterday. He took Jimin with him to the dance floor. Well, nothing more than gigantic hickeys, Hobie said with a tease, and went to the dance floor. On the other hand, Jin was about to say something, but Namjoon stopped him. He knew Taehyung needed some time alone. He kept his hands on his shoulders and kissed his cheeks before pulling him to the dance floor. A tear fell down his cheeks. He looked at the man dancing in the middle of the stage, not caring or looking at anyone. Oh, how he wished to be in his embrace. A ting sound was heard and his phone lit up from a random notification. But the wallpaper scene on the screen made another tear slip down his cheeks. It was a bunny kissing a tiger. I remember everything, Cookie. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.